Hey everyone, my name's Gavin and welcome back to MyXP. Today I want to talk to you about a RPG that I grew up with, and I never really got a chance to finish it until just recently. And that RPG would be Breath of Fire. Now, the Breath of Fire series to me really resonated with me with the whole, being able to turn into a dragon and everything. I always thought that was really cool. So this franchise to me means a lot, and it's kind of a shame that, Capcom kind of shelved the games for a while, and they didn't really pay much attention to them outside of, their last attempt, which was Breath of Fire 6, a mobile game that they ended up discontinuing support for, I think back in 2017. But my story with Breath of Fire, the original one for Super Nintendo, which was originally published by Squaresoft at the time, Square Enix now, it was a little bit different. I remember I used to go to the same rental store that I talked about in my previous videos, and whenever I'd go there, this game would always be rented out. I just remember seeing the cover art with it of, Ryu at the very forefront of the box art, and there with his sword, and I always thought it looked really interesting. And, always being a fan of dragons and everything, just seeing the title Breath of Fire, I knew that it was going to be something that would, really hit home with me. So, playing Breath of Fire for the first time after, I was able to reserve the copy of the game that was at my rental store, and just, picking up and playing through it. I remember I got to the very first section of the game, was able to start battling, and probably 2 battles in or something, I was dead, game over, and I had to restart. So it was a little bit punishing at first. So I do remember, having to rent the game multiple times, trying to get as far as I possibly could into it, and the game kind of suffered from something that was a little bit more common back in the 90s with RPG games, in which, you weren't really given a whole lot of direction in terms of where to go next or what had to be completed in order to progress into the story. So I was in my teens, and it was just something that, I didn't really have a good knowledge of, just trying to figure out where to go next or what to do. So very quickly, I began to not really try to rent this game as much, as I didn't really feel I was getting my money's worth every weekend, and that was just because I couldn't progress. So I remember, going through the opening dungeons and just being pummeled and just really having to grind a lot to level up and to actually be powerful enough to take down the enemies and the bosses. And I would always come up to, the same area, and I would just continually fail, game over repeatedly. And, the nice thing about this game, though, is that if you did end up, dying, your entire party just wiped, then it didn't really give you a hard slap on the wrist like other RPGs. It just pretty much teleports you back to your last save point, and the only loss that you have is whatever items that you expended in that battle. So you start back off where you last saved, and that was a nice I don't want to say relief, I guess, kind of, knowing that you didn't have to go back and grind out those levels that you may have gained in that dungeon. So that was really nice. The music in the game was incredible. Battle system was just, regular turn-based combat. A lot of the spells and stuff with the translation that we had with the North American release weren't really thoroughly explained, I guess, and the same goes for equipment. So it was a little difficult to understand, what benefited your character. The only thing you really had to go based off was the stat point difference. And that's a big problem, because as I've learned recently, a lot of the better equipment with higher stat points, they are pretty much cursed pieces of equipment. Not all of them, but a few of them, and they cause you to take double damage if you have them equipped. So recently, I ended up picking the game back up because I didn't get a chance to beat this, and I was like, you know what, I didn't have a whole lot of access to the internet or guides or anything back when I first played the game. So I said I may as well revisit it. I know it's been a long time, again, since Capcom's came out with a Breath of Fire game, or at least a full console release of the Breath of Fire game. So I ended up starting up a hashtag, and that hashtag was BringBackBoF. So I started streaming on Twitch, and I just really wanted to complete this game. And, streaming on Twitch before, I didn't really have a whole lot of viewers come into my streams, and as soon as I started up this hashtag, people were there. They were ready. They were waiting for me to go through this game. They were helping me along the way, giving me all kinds of tips that I never would have imagined possible in the game when I was younger. So, you know, my chat really helped me out a lot. Showed me, you know, certain items that were extremely like game breaking, and just made the journey a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier. So I was streaming over on twitch.tv/Gavin_Vengeance, and you can catch me streaming over there as well. I am going to be continuing on with the Breath of Fire series, as I just completed Breath of Fire 1. So I finally actually did get to complete it, and I absolutely had a blast with this game. So having knowledge of where to go and having access to like walkthroughs and guides and, you know, all kinds of different tips and everything that people know about now from like things like speedrunning or whatnot, it really helped with this playthrough, and I'm super grateful to my chat for being there to help me out. It just made it so much more worth it for me. So Breath of Fire, to me, all in all, is a really, really great experience. Now I can finally say that I've beaten every single Breath of Fire game, with the exception of 6, which to me, I guess I kind of can't really speak to that. It was only released in Japan, so yeah, it's unfortunate. But with the whole BringBackBoF hashtag, what I'd really like to see, honestly, is I'd just like to see Capcom take notice that there's a huge fan following for Breath of Fire, and a lot of people that love these RPGs that would love to see it continued, or even just, in my opinion, reboot the series. Just go action RPG route, kind of like what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and, you know, bring us back to those roots with Ryu and Nina and all the great cast and all the different races and everything that are in this game. It's just the whole world of Breath of Fire is just brimming with lore, and it's just something that, like, you know, people myself that play the game since their childhood, you don't want to ever let go of that stuff, right? So I would really love to see a resurgence of Breath of Fire, and I hope that this kind of, you know, paves the way for Capcom to realize, let's do something with Breath of Fire. Let's, you know, listen to our fans and give them what they want. I know they've been on a ball recently with stuff like, you know, the Resident Evil remake and the latest Devil May Cry, and everything has been like really, really well put together, and hats off to Capcom for doing that. So hopefully they give the same love and attention to the Breath of Fire series, and yeah, let's bring back Breath of Fire, please. So that's pretty much my experience with it, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching, and yeah, if you guys like my video, please like, subscribe. If you want to check out the rest of my Breath of Fire streams, or even just join in the chat and give me some tips and tricks that maybe I don't know about the upcoming games, then you can catch me over there at twitch.tv/Gavin_Vengeance. Usually going to be streaming sometimes in the evenings Eastern, so we'll just say probably like 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and I'll only be streaming like 2 to 3 hours a day, I'd say, because I'll be returning to work next week. So I'll have a couple hours a day to play that, and my plan is to go right on through every single one of the Breath of Fire games. Like I said, already done part 1, started on part 2, and we're gonna go right on through even Dragon Quarter, which I know, you know, some people have gripes with, but I'm gonna get to that as well. I'm gonna go and cover each and every single one of these games as I complete them, and I'll release a MyXP video following that. So with that said, thanks again for watching and listening to me ramble. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.